Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. This week I'm going to be showing you how I built this cool DIY modern platform bed. So a few months back I had a request to build a modern floating platform bed, and I took them up on the challenge and I built it. Took a little longer than I expected, but I eventually got it done and I was really happy with how it turned out. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and here's how I built it. So I started off by running my 4x4s through a planer, and I planed them down to 3.5 inches thick. Then, to make my beams line up with each other when clamping, I installed some dowels. After the glue had dried, I sanded away any discrepancies between the heights of the beams. After trimming my beams to size, I used my table saw to cut a rabbet on 2 of my beams. And since the rabbet on the front beam started and stopped within the insides of the beam, I used a router table to cut that out. Since the router bit left rounded corners, I used a chisel to trim and square that off. Next, I had to attach my skirts that would go around the entire edge of the bed, and those were made out of 1x6 oak board, and I attached them with pocket holes. To attach my beams together, I used this red angle clamping jig and pocket holes. Next, I had to cut my headboard to size, and I made that out of 3/4 inch oak plywood, and I cut it down to size using my circular saw with a Craig AccuCut guide. So something that I didn't do at first but is a good tip: if you are cutting plywood with a circular saw or a jigsaw, use tape on your cut line to try to minimize as much tear out as possible. Next, I knock down the edges of my cuts with a foam sanding block to prepare it for an iron-on veneer. If you guys have enjoyed the video so far and want to see more like it, make sure to go click that subscribe button. Enjoy the rest of the video. Next, I broke down another sheet of 3/4 inch plywood to start making my drawer parts. Then I used some more of that veneer to give the plywood a clean look. I assembled my nightstand boxes using pocket holes, so I had to drill a lot of those. Next, I had to build my drawers, and I started off by cutting 1/4 inch plywood as the bottom of my drawer. I wanted to hold in my drawer bottoms using dados, so I went ahead and cut those on all my drawer sides. Then I assembled my drawers using one of my favorite clamps, the Betsy right angle clamp. Next, I had to cut my drawer faces, and I cut those out of 1x6 oak board. Instead of adding handle hardware, I just wanted to make a cutout that your hand could use to pull out the drawer. So I laid all that out using a framing square and a combination square. To make my cutout, I used a bandsaw, but another tool that would work really well for this if you don't have a bandsaw is a jigsaw. So off camera, I assembled the bed frame and then I gave it a coat of pre-stain. This will help the stain have a more uniform finish. So I totally got caught up in staining, so I didn't get any footage, but here is the frame after most of it had been stained. I used a gel stain which applies pretty thick, and then you wipe it off and it gives a really nice uniform finish. So on this project I got to do something that was a first for me, which is spraying lacquer. And I sprayed a pre-catalyzed water-based lacquer using a spray gun, and it was really satisfying, and I will be using this finish on a lot of other projects in the future. So I just wanted to point out here that I'm holding the spray gun at an angle, and I really should be holding it pointed straight at the workpiece. Next, I had to make the supports for the slats, and I just made those out of 2x4s that I cleaned up by sanding and ripping down the table saw. I just screwed my slats to the sides of the frame, and the center one I installed using pocket holes. So I later realized that the pocket holes were not going to really be strong enough, and they weren't going to be practical for assembling and disassembling the bed. So I installed these brackets that I discovered in one of Pneumatic Addict's videos, which I'll have linked in the description. Then I cut all of my slats to size. I made these out of 1x4 finished pine. Next, I started test fitting the slats. I didn't actually screw all of them down, I just waited until I did the final installation on the bed to fully install them. And the final thing I had to do was to assemble the nightstands. To put on my drawer faces, I used some double-sided tape to hold the drawer face on, all lined up, while I screwed it together. And with that, it was done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun building this project and I learned so much. And like I said before, I'm really happy with how it turned out. So if you guys enjoyed the video and want to see more videos like it, make sure to click up here. And if you guys want to subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos every week, make sure to click down here. And I will see you guys in next week's video. Thanks for watching.